people, welcome back to another episode of Sweet Millionaire Formula, the podcast where we mix money goals with Hollywood drama and drop gems like it's hot. I'm your host, Courtney, and today we have 3 topics for you. Spill the wealth, stack your paper, and millionaire moves. So grab that drink or your pen, because guess what? We're about to get into it. Reporting live from the Luxury and Logic news. Today we have a breaking story. We have women out here who are going to brunch. They're going to brunch. They're shopping past their limits, and they're even putting things on layaway, all to support their habit. Guys, this is serious news, because guess what? They could have 401ks instead. Let's break this story. Doing sis? No, be for real. Because in today's economy, you feel the emotional stress of this presidency and what we're living in, and 300,000 Black women are impacted by losing their jobs. 1 million people have been laid off, and we have almost 42 million Americans who do not have SNAP benefits. So if you are stressed buying, I get it, but I see you. But this is what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to lose the plot. Having luxury and living logic is very possible and it's very sustainable, but you have to climb up off the ladder of, do they see me with my stuff? Do they see me living luxury? It's not about what people see. It's about you being able to live a life that you're comfortable with and projecting a sense of sustainability from the inside out. Nobody is judging you, sis, if you can't pay your bills. You have an apartment, but you have a Chanel bag on and you're going out every week. See, it feels like you're a muncher, like a moocher. And I don't like women like that. So if you can decide that you want to live outside your means, live outside your budget, let's take it back to where we have some both luxury and love. A study showed that, on average, women investors outperform men by 40%. So it's quite behooving that women make almost 62 cents to the dollar, while the man is making 97 cents on the dollar, and the Black woman is making nearly 50 cents on the dollar, right? Being a woman investor is it's empowering. It's a way to win. You know, I know that you can do it because I've done it. I took myself from living in poverty, living in the projects in Cleveland, living in a hood on 105 in St. Clair, watching bodies, literal bodies, drop behind my car. Bullets are flying through my house, not my house, but bullets are flying through the neighborhood all summer. And so when you think about the need for luxury is not that important. I'd rather have that sense. I'd rather have the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding of my financial sense and where my feet need to be placed, rather than looking like on the outside to people that waving this flag of validation for people to see every day, knowing that your 401k has nothing in it. How is that okay? It's not. And this is why when you think about luxury without a limit, luxury bags, luxury trips, the finest of finest, luxury is reserved for the people who have put their financials in order. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Luxury is designed for people who have their financials in order. So you can't get mad. I just watched an Instagram video recently where the friends were at the table and they were like, that splitting that bill, crazy work. It could worse than a trip to Miami. A dinner at a fancy restaurant could ruin a relationship fast, right? But The girl said, I told you that I couldn't afford it, that I would only pay for what I had before I came here. And they were still upset at her. Like, no, you're going to split the bill with her. I heard the person on the video, like, you're going to split the bill with us. And I just think that, why is it that luxury has to be so painful in a black community sometimes? You know why? Because you cannot enjoy luxury without your financials being in order. Luxury without logic is just expensive confusion. Because those who understand their money and their financials, they budget I don't know how much a dinner like that at an expensive restaurant costs, but I'm just saying, like, if the budget was already set in October, when November came, you put aside, TT's birthday is coming up on November 2nd. So let me put aside $300 for this fancy dinner, and so on and so forth. You pay your bills, you move forward. There is no problem with making a budget and having a budget sheet for your lifestyle. When I look at my budget sheet, I'm telling you, I'm so thankful that everything is paid off at the end of the month. I have a couple of different areas on my budget sheet that I want to just state really quickly to you guys, because this is Stack Your Paper. And I want y'all to know that a monthly budget sheet and a monthly worksheet where you can work out your money is the revelation that you need in order to see where your money is going, see what's paid off, what's not paid off, where you can make payments. I also, with my budget sheet, get to see where gas, how much I'm spending on gas, subscriptions, and I also get to track how much is in my savings account, my IRA, and things of that nature. So on my monthly budget sheet, it has 5 columns. It has month, budget amount, actual amount, the difference, in a note next to it. And then on the vertical, it says savings, personal, auto, and home. And then I have each and every section basically broke down from there. And I budget a month before. So whatever bills I paid for November and October, I make sure that in November I write paid on that, right? So that I can see that that's already paid off. And then when I make a payment again, I know that that payment is going towards December. Having your phone bill and your light bill and things like that on auto pay, the smartest thing that you can do. And that's living towards a financially stable life, because in your bank accounts, that money is already going and being taken out to supplement the need for that bill to be paid. And I feel like having a monthly budget sheet has definitely allowed me to have a stronger credit score, because I'm able to see 2 or 3 days before they're about to bill me for the credit card. They are looking at your spending and how much of the debt you spent from that credit card. So before you make the payment and the actual payment date, 3 or 4 days before that payment date, you want to get that credit card bill paid off the 3 or 4 days, not the day of payment. Because the 3 or 4 days ago, when they were actually looking and checking the credit report, is more important than you paying your credit card bill on the actual day. I don't know why I thought that I had to pay the bill on time, but then when I spoke with Navy Federal and they gave me a better understanding of why I pay it 3 or 4 days before, is because that credit report is being read 3 or 4 days before it comes out. And so it's only right to make sure that in the budget sheet that you have your financials in order. Luxury is not like the label. It's a lifestyle of financial freedom. I think that you should spend your money buying what appreciates and not what depreciates. Start with intentional spending and a guilt-free fund, which means you budgeted for that $300 event with your friends. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you also need to have a growth fund for investments. And so when you think about this overall effect of having this mindset for your financials to be in order so you can live that luxury life, luxury is nothing without logic, because again, that is just expensive confusion. So when you diversify your income and you put a monthly budget together, you'll see where you have room for investments, and you'll see and make the adjustments for the plans that you have as well. But there's no reason to live this luxury life and spin your wheels when we have over 150 years possibly to live on this earth? Wealth is about what you keep, not what you spend. Feel the wealth. This week we're talking about and highlighting the amazing Melissa Butler, the founder of the Lip Bar. She turned her rejection as Shark Tank into her beauty empire. She said no to their no and built her brand for a black woman, and now it's on national shelves nationwide, including Target and Walmart. She was able to do enough with her brand that she started a second brand called Thread. And I believe that this story, not only did it change my mind reading this story, but it made me understand the mission behind her creating the lip bar. She was able to turn her dreams of owning a business into a reality. Melissa was a financial analysis on Wall Street before she created the lip bar. And what she noticed was that there was a lack of options in the beauty market for black women and women of color. We just had to go along to get along, to go along, to get along. I remember even when Keisha Kayor came out with those bright. So before there was a Fenty, we got to go back to the roots. There was Keisha Kayor's lip lines where she had all these amazing, beautiful colors. And so Melissa saw that black women weren't being catered to, or women of color in general weren't being catered to. So she decided to take matters into her own hands, literally, right? She went back to her Brooklyn apartment and she said, I'm going to create lipsticks from vegan lipsticks at that, from scratch. I always see this like no animal cruelty on products, and it behooves me. Like, what person for a corporation would be putting lipstick on rabbits and bunnies and like what? But that's besides the point. Either way, you can see from the very beginning that the intention behind her work was intentional. It was vegan. She decided that she wasn't just going to create or come into the industry and create a product that already existed. She created something that wasn't in the market, and she didn't even know it. She didn't even know that the industry didn't even have what she was looking for. I guess she did know it, but when I say she didn't know it, it's like you would think that these companies already have vegan products and things like that. But when Melissa created the lip bar, she didn't have industry experience. So that's what I mean when I say she didn't know. But her passion and her instincts led her down the right path. Because by February 2012, she founded the lip bar and was on her way of dismissing and dismantling the industry's one shape fits all beauty standard. She wanted to see more diversity and less toxic chemicals in products, and that's what she created. The entrepreneur, she also wanted to showcase more inclusive imageries and examples of what beauty truly is, opposed to what she saw in many companies' ads, which is just one woman look. At the lip bar, she said, as a woman, I know firsthand that how we look often impacts how we feel. And how we feel is often a direct indicator of how we are able to go out into the world and present ourselves and accomplish the things we set out to do, says Butler. Her mission with the lip bar was bred from the desire to empower women through beauty. And she's been taking that to the next levels ever since. I want to highlight a few products that she has on her, a few of her products, and why the lip bar is products that you should definitely try out and become a loyal member to. She has my favorite product. She has a 3-in-1 tinted skin conditioning tint, which means it has SPF, hyaluronic acid, and concealer all in one. Melissa has mastered the niche of doing your makeup in under 20 minutes. With her products, from the cream that you can use to wipe off your makeup, and to the concealer with the SPF and the hyaluronic acid, Melissa is considerate of our livelihoods. I can tell you this, when I went shopping in Ulta last week, I was so stressed out because I'm just like, there are a million products for skin in Ulta. And I thought that I had like acne prone skin. So I went and bought these products. I'm at home using them. I'm like, my face is, it's burning. Oh my God, these products are amazing. I'm going to bed like my face is on fire, thinking that I am using these right products, using the right products. And turns out when you have irritation and burning like that to that extent with products, that is not right. That is wrong. And you should stop using that product. But Melissa understands me. She gives me the SPF. I don't have to go get a concealer and an SPF and a hyaluronic. That word will kick my butt. Hyaluronic acid. I have all these in one when I buy her skin tint, right? She has the straight cooling blue eyeliner, game changer. And her big timer volume mascara, which is all these products are vegan free and cruelty free. Her big timer mascara got a 2019 Allure Award Product of the Year. So what she's doing over at the Lip Bar is honoring the mission. And the mission has always been for Butler from the beginning. Her mantra has always been to challenge the beauty standard. And she's been able to do that with bold, clean, affordable, and cruelty-free products. Melissa is famous for wearing her red. She loves that red down. And she is showcasing her products with models that have deeper tones so that her product can be showcased in the best light. Typically before Melissa's products, you didn't see, at least I didn't see commercials where dark women had colors on. They always played it safe. And as time has evolved, the standard has changed. And I believe that the intention behind every product that Butler creates is for women of all skin tones to be included, celebrated, and to have minimal effort when trying to be this beautiful woman. We know we got to be to work. She knew we had to take our kids to games. She knew we had to get up and take care of this or that. And she's considerate of all these great attributes, which makes her story 10 times better. Melissa has launched products that are eco-friendly. And I feel like all of her products that are offered by the Lip Bar, they are ethically made and free of animal byproducts. The skincare products that she just came out with, it started with mushroom extracts. She wanted to use reishi mushroom extract because it's a superfood and it's one of the original organisms on this planet. Everything is infused with mushroom complex, which is going to help with anti-aging and is filled with antioxidants. Hyaluronic acid is another key ingredient, skin, since it hydrates skin and helps it retain moisture. Beyond that, we are truly trying to shine a light on the idea of gentle and smooth skincare. She's doing the work. She's considerate of the people, and she has our end goal in mind. The Lip Bar has always been to ensure that all women feel seen and are truly represented in the industry. And so, what Melissa continues to do is she continues to transform. She is evolving with her audience and the times. She's not just keeping her feet where she was 10 years ago. And for other entrepreneurs, she gave the advice that when creating your own business, bring your own mission statement and effort to the forefront. Keep working towards your goals because your idea will never become reality if you don't do it. Always put your best foot forward in the process and allow yourself time to ensure you are bringing your best work to the market. If you need another day, take that another day. If you need another month, take that another month. But give yourself time and be open to change. Butler has grown her business from 2010. I mean, I'm sorry, 2015 being rejected on Shark Tank, and to now September 22, 2022. As of September 2022, the Lip Bar has raised over $7 million to continue to grow its funds and to get to the next level. If you know about business and you know about um, funding and rounds of funding, you know that this is a long game and this is a legacy building game. And so Melissa has done 3 rounds of funding, and each round she gets more and more funding from her investors while while maintaining equity in the main. And she's the principal shareholder in her company. But I just think that Melissa is a woman that has shown me the possibilities are endless when you have a mission that is being brought to the forefront that doesn't involve tricking and scheming and cutting corners. Everything that she said that she was going to do in the beginning, she's done. And I believe that that has helped raise the bar for the Lip Bar. And it has turned me into a believer. Not only is her products A1, but she has leveled up her business for the last 10 years consecutively. And she's gotten her business into thousands of stores across the U.S., all from turning somebody else's no into her no. And so I want to highlight that on this segment today. Millionaire moves. This is a personal endeavor to me. Okay. LeBron James is from the court to content creation, he's building a generational power. He's building schools, production studios, and he has equity in most and all of his products and properties and businesses that he's creating. He's proven the real MVP move is ownership. The other day I was thinking about how when I lived in Cleveland and I had lost my scholarship, I had to move back home, and I was devastated because I was scared that me and my daughter were going to be stuck living in the hood. That happened. We were. Everything that you don't want to happen. I did not want to lose that scholarship and move back to Cleveland. I'm going to tell you that right now. I had already seen LeBron win the championships. I had already experienced being raised by a total. He's a straight beast. He's a lioness. I mean lion. He's a trailblazer. There's no words when you grow up in a city and this is the star player from high school all the way up until I go to college. My perspective on LeBron James has shifted in a sense of when I was a teenager watching him, I always felt that sense of confidence because I'm just like, if he is doing this on this high level, so can I do this in a marching band, or so can I do this with my grades. And he transformed the way that I looked and thought about myself. I'm not like, he gave me confidence because it's like for him to be so young and be so passionate and accurate and dominating in his field, it made me feel like I can do the same thing. And that type of leadership is, I always look to the highest leadership. I never really gaze at the people who are like getting along to go along. I look at the people who's making the statements. I look at the people who is competing on the highest level, because when we were created with a future and a plan and a purpose that God has inside of us. And so there is nothing in me that can play small. When God has created an earth and he created you, how could you play it small in this lifetime? To live and to have this experience in life is the only chance that we'll get to be our fullest selves. And I just told myself the other day, I said, Courtney, you stop saying that you're going to be a millionaire. You're going to be a billionaire. You know why you're going to be a billionaire? It's because you're willing to put in the work to pursue the purpose that God has for you. And he can do exceedingly above what you can ask or think. So continue this road, continue this network building with Sweet Millionaire Formula. Open up the Performing Arts Center, create the network, get the women on the creating their passive income ratios. Because in the end, when it's all said and done, God is going to look at you as like, what did you do down here on earth? What is the return on my investment? Who lives have you impacted? And I feel like LeBron James is at the pinnacle of impacting lives. But we're not talking about the lives today. We're actually talking about the financial breakthrough that has transformed LeBron James from a high school basketball player from St. Joseph into a multi-international billionaire athlete. Before he has retired, he still plays basketball, y'all. So I took the sweet time of my life to break down his assets and what exactly makes him a billionaire. So LeBron James um maximized his brand from the beginning. With the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Miami Heat, and the Los Angeles Lakers, he generated over $400 million. I get that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about before you're 40 years old. Before this man was 40 years old, he generated $385 million from Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, and the Los Angeles Lakers. So, like I said, $400 million. He's the highest active playing NBA player. His off-court endorsements and business ventures, Nike, his investment in Blaze Pizza and things like that, has put him in the billionaire category. And so I wanted to talk about some of his endorsements. He rejected a deal early in his career with Reeboks and Adidas. And in 2003, at 18, he signed a deal with Nike. That deal with Nike, 10 years later in 2025, is a lifetime deal now worth over $1 billion. He also has endorsements with Walmart, PepsiCo, and AT&T. He stopped his endorsement with McDonald's because it collided with his other investment, Blaze Pizza, which right now is at a $30 million valuation. Blaze Pizza is one of the hottest and fastest growing food chains taking over. And LeBron James invested into Blaze Pizza early on. And so not only has he had endorsements, but he's been smart financially and navigating where he puts his face. Because you can't invest into one company, and you can, but LeBron James decided it would be more financially sound for him to create his own and fund his own startup, Blaze Pizza, and be an investor into that company, which is evaluated again at $30 million. That's a heck of a company to be that young, less than 10 years old, and still be and almost be worth $30 million. He has equity in these deals that he's doing with Walmart, PepsiCo, and Atlanta. I said Atlanta, I meant AT&T. He has equity, and equity is a part ownership. Spring Hill TV in his media production, which is valued at $300 million. He is a owner and investor with an annual return of $140 million of equity in the company Fenway Sports Group. He has, I believe, 3 properties. That's what I read, in Ohio and 2 in Los Angeles, totaling $80 million. So he has $100 million in real estate alone, where he just remodeled that property that he just bought for his family home. He stays in a $36 million mansion now in LA, but he has already bought another $40 plus million mansion in Los Angeles, and he's building it down, deconstructing it to build it back up how he wants that to be. So let's just look at that there alone. Between his Nike deal, endorsements, long structured equity in these companies, investment into Blaze Pizza, Spring Hill Media and Production Company, and his cash and money, his just cash on hand. With cash on hand at $500 million, Blaze Pizza $30 million, real estate $80 million, Spring Hill TV $300 million. We're looking at a $1 billion athlete in just that span of that sentence. LeBron James has moved strategically with his business partner Rich Paul, who has a billion-dollar clutch sports firm, and I believe that between their star power and logic and financial sense, Rich Paul is able to elevate LeBron's brand to billionaire status because he's able to have investors that value his legacy and are willing to create wealth past the the current state that he's already in. I just think that it's super mind blowing that you can put a 1% investment into the Fenway Sports Group and it gives you an annual return of $140 million. How how much more as an investor could you ask for? You couldn't ask for you really couldn't ask for much more when you're living and you're able to invest and play with money on such a high scale, right? I think that is absolutely phenomenal. I think that it is important to note that equity, investment, and having a vision past sports allowed him to collaborate, connect, and evolve into a billionaire over this last 20 years. So for that, I'm going to say in 20 years from now, I will be a billionaire, right? Because that's just sometimes you gotta go ahead and put it out there. Go ahead and stand on the business that you're talking about. Because if you ain't gonna stand on it, then what you saying it for, right? Um. So whether you're stocking, remember your power is in your choices. Keep your standards high, your investments higher, and your self worth priceless. I'm your host, reminding you that life is as sweet as a millionaire when you move like one.